Hello everyone, my name is David Rocha. I'm a Partner Solutions Architect at AWS, and I work with SUSE to bring their products to our customers. Joining me today is...
Hi, I'm Stephen Monk, and I'm a Public Cloud Solutions Architect here at SUSE.
This video is part of the SUSE on AWS video series, where we will cover the different update infrastructure options for your SUSE on Amazon EC2 instances. Now, before we cover the update options, I want to touch on a few key points that we need to keep in mind for our discussion. And so SLE or SLE stands for SUSE Linux Enterprise, and we're specifically covering SUSE's Enterprise Linux products. Although some of what we're discussing may apply to other products, we are focusing just on Enterprise Linux. Updates. So SUSE support includes fixes and updates to their software packages. And we are not going to be discussing, when we talk about support, whether it's troubleshooting or phone-in support. It's strictly the updates and the package updates for Enterprise Linux. So subscriptions. SUSE support is provided by subscriptions purchased by the customers. So our customers have two options whenever they're buying a subscription running on AWS. You have the pay-as-you-go model or subscription included. And this is where you have an instance that is launched using a SUSE AMI, and it has a subscription already included in that Amazon machine image AMI. Now, the cost of that subscription is included in the price of the instance, so there is not an additional purchase that is required. Then we have the bring your own subscription. This is the second option. So this is for customers that have already purchased SUSE, a SUSE subscription, and want to apply it to a running instance. It's still launched using a SUSE AMI, right, that SUSE publishes and supports, and they take that subscription and they apply it to that running instance. Now, in both options, the customer has a valid subscription, right, whether it's bring your own subscription or pay as you go, and they have the ability to run and receive updates for their SUSE Linux enterprise environments. So Stephen, can you describe how do SUSE customers running on AWS connect to SUSE to receive those updates?
Yeah, sure. So I guess everything starts with what we call the SUSE Customer Center, or SCC for short. And that's where we store all our fixes and updates and where customers would traditionally consume them from. Now, they'd likely have an account in the SCC along with some form of subscription, and that would provide the entitlement to the patches they need. Now, with AWS and for AWS customers, we do things slightly differently. And at this point, I'm going to introduce the Public Cloud Update Infrastructure, or PCUI for short. And this is a service which SUSE maintains in AWS for use by AWS customers running SUSE Linux. Now, this service consists of around 100 servers, and those 100 servers are spread across the AWS global infrastructure. And the idea is it provides a region local service to instances that are running around the globe. So pretty much in every public region where you can run SUSE Linux, you should find an update server that's there to provide those updates. Now, in terms of making sure this is up to date, every time we publish new fixes and updates, they go into the SCC, and this is synchronized down to the Public Cloud Update Infrastructure to make sure that AWS customers get access to all the latest software as well.
So managing 100 EC2 instances, Amazon EC2 instances, to support the service, that's quite a commitment from both SUSE and AWS. How do customers benefit by connecting to the SUSE Public Cloud Update Infrastructure?
Yeah, okay, good question. So I guess the first thing to think about is the service is fast. So we've mentioned already that the service is region local. The update servers are very near where the customer instances are running, which means you're not dragging updates around the globe or even from SUSE's content delivery network. They're very close, which means the actual update process involves very low latency. The other thing is it's easy to use. Now, every time a pay-as-you-go instance launches, as you've mentioned, it comes with a subscription built in. So it will make a connection up to the public cloud update infrastructure, and pretty much as soon as that instance is ready or booted up, it will have access to either install new software or patch existing software.
Now, is this environment, I know you said it consists of over 100 servers, is this environment highly available?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got multiple update servers per region, so in the unlikely event something happens, the service will continue to run and customers will still be able to get their patches.
Okay. Are there any requirements that a customer needs to consider when connecting to the SUSE public cloud update infrastructure?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is connectivity. So the public cloud update infrastructure is a SUSE service, and it runs inside the SUSE or AWS environment, which means that the only route for customers to get to it is via the internet. So whether that instance needs to connect via an internet gateway or perhaps out through their own data center using AWS Direct Connect or something similar, there is a route over the internet that is required in order to make that connection. Now the second one is you need some software on each of these instances here. So the client software is actually baked into the Amazon machine images which SUSE create. It's part of the build. I've mentioned already it automatically runs on the pay-as-you-go instances, but it's also available on the bring your own subscription instances as well. Slight difference in the actual process. Because these customers have a valid subscription, they need to provide that subscription key in order to connect, but they can still benefit from using the public cloud update infrastructure.
Okay. So we have both been in conversations where a customer, although they love the idea of the SUSE public cloud update infrastructure, they can't connect to it, whether it's the network requirement for an external connection or what have you. What is another option that a customer has to receive updates from SUSE for their Amazon EC2 instances?
Yeah, absolutely. So usually, like you say, there's a number of reasons why customers might not want to use a public cloud update infrastructure. For those customers that want to do something different, then potentially a solution would be SUSE Manager. Now, this is a product provided by SUSE. It's something that the customer would own, the customer would maintain and deploy inside their own AWS environment.
So I know SUSE Manager is a pretty large topic, right? We've spoken to customers and we let them know what the capabilities are. So we will save this topic for a different video in the SUSE on AWS series. I do want to thank you, Stephen, for providing this information. So thank you. And as a short recap before we end the video, just remember that there are two options that you have as a customer to run SUSE on AWS. You have the pay-as-you-go option for that subscription or bring your own subscription. And both options, you have the ability to connect to the SUSE public cloud update infrastructure or SUSE Manager. And with that, thank you again. And we will have a QR code at the end of the video where you can have a link to access additional resources and more information. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks for listening.